Hi, this is Kenny Albert. You're listening to the Broadway Hat Podcast with your host, Kyle Hall, the #1 podcast for all things Rangers hockey.
Welcome back to the Broadway Hat Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Hall, and I don't think anyone would have picked this Final Four. You thought this was going to be McDavid's year in Edmonton, but again, they fall apart before they've only made one Western Conference Final with Draisaitl and McDavid, which is insane. See, exciting Stanley Cup playoffs. Again, McDavid is just crazy. Best player in the world. Made the Western Conference Final one time. Didn't even win a game. They got swept in the finals. That was 2 years ago. So just seeing him and Draisaitl lose, I just don't understand. I don't understand how that team doesn't build. I don't get it. Best player in the world. Two of the best players in the world, and they can't win anything. It's crazy. But yeah, so the Stanley Cup playoffs are still very exciting. I don't know if Ranger fans are watching. I've talked to a couple Ranger fans. They're kind of going in and out. It's tough because who do you root for? You know, do you root for the Hurricanes because they have so many former Rangers, like a guy like Derek Stepan and Jesper Fast, who are two fan favorites? Brady Shea was a fan favorite. Do you root for them, or are they, a rival now? So do you root for Florida, but you don't want maybe the Panthers win because they're in conference? I don't know who you root for. A lot of people are saying, the Rangers, with Jack Eichel, if they would have made him, maybe they get to the Stanley Cup final like Vegas. But I think the Rangers made a good deal not getting him to begin with. Other story. But yeah, there's some storylines there left there for Ranger fans to kind of pay attention to. But, I think if you look around the league, there's a couple former Rangers I want to see win cups. If it wasn't the Rangers, I think Matt Zuccarello is one of the names that jumps out at me. Stepan is definitely up there. I was a huge Derek Stepan fan. Actually, it was just the 8th anniversary of his Game 7 OT winner against Washington. I posted that on Twitter. That was one of my favorite goals in Rangers history. So I think those are probably the two top guys. Jesper Fast, I think he's was one of the worst decisions Rangers ownership or front office made, letting him go for the price, whatever it was. They should have brought him back. It was Panarin's best year was with him. So yeah, I mean those three guys are probably up there for you. So I would not mind seeing Carolina win. Have a lot of friends who are Carolina Hurricane fans, so I wouldn't root against them, I'll say. I wouldn't root against them. I wouldn't be mad if they won. So I hope people are still paying attention to the playoffs, obviously. With the Rangers out, there's people who lose interest. The Knicks just lost, so now people are turning their attention to baseball. At least the Yankees are hot, and the Mets are a hot mess. But the summer will be baseball. But hey, those offseason for the Rangers is so important. Gerard Gallant last week we talked about him getting let go. Who's next in the chopping? Who's next there? The Rangers still have in their organization both the Jacksonville Icemen, their ECHL team, and the Hartford Wolfpack and the American Hockey League are both still alive in their playoffs. So there are some hockey to watch there for Ranger fans in the minor league level. Chris Knobloch, obviously, is the guy to watch down there as the head coach of Hartford. Is he the next guy for the Rangers? But the Rangers have just under $12 million in cap space, and you got to think that when you got to sign Keandre Miller, the big decision is, do you give him a long-term deal or a bridge deal? Alexis Lafreniere, do you give him a bridge deal, long-term deal? Do you trade him? I think he's more of the trading block guy than Miller is, in my opinion. And then a guy like Barclay Goodrow making $3.6 million as a fourth-line centerman. You re-sign Hedl. You got Trocheck there. You got Zibanejad. So if he's going to play center, which is his natural position, it's going to be a fourth-line role. He's not a top-6 player. That third line's kind of like the kid line now, so he's really slotted into that fourth line, which is a great role for him. He's had 2 career years that when he signed with the Rangers, they could not have signed up for a better. He's produced exactly what they wanted to and more. It's just his contract, $3.6 million for a fourth line player on that team. You can't do it anymore. So I put an article out on bellyupsports.com about some crazy long shot trades the Rangers can make, and they involve Lafreniere and Barclay Goodrow, and one involving Artemi Panarin for Mitch Marner. And listen, a lot of people love him. A lot of people tell me I was crazy. It's a fun article. It's a fun article. It was long shot trades, just seeing what could happen. And so go check it out, bellysports.com. Let me know what you think about the trades. But yeah, I think those are the two guys that most likely would get dealt in a deal if Chris Drury does make a deal there. But it's the off season. We have a long way to go. We'll have some draft coverage coming up soon. It's once the Stanley Cup ends, it'll start picking up a little more with some of the some of the talking, I think, with some of the coaches and some of the free agency. So we'll see. There's been no coaches that have been contacted yet that I know of for the job, for interviews or anything. So That's all coming up, I believe, in the next couple weeks. But we have a great interview this week. We're joined by our good buddy, Jake Elmer. He returns to the show. It's been 2 years since Jake's been on. So we catch up with him, see what's been going on the last 2 years. He played over in Slovakia this year, and he played with Rangers top prospect Adam Sikora while he was there. So we get the inside scoop on Sikora's game, how he'll translate to the NHL level, and Jake has some great things to say about him. So it's great catching up with him. But before we send an interview with Jake, I do want to give you a brief message from some of our sponsors. Caldera Labs. Say goodbye to the generic face wash on your counter because Caldera Lab is here to save the day when it comes to your skin. Backed by a leading clinical trial where 9 out of 10 men experience healthier and visible improved skin, Caldera Lab has the tools to unlock your best first impression and confidence. Today we have an exclusive offer for you, our audience, so you can try it for yourself. And you can see why so many men trust Caldera Lab with their skincare needs. Use our code BROADWAY at calderalab.com for 20% off their best product. Listen, as I'm getting older, in my 30s now, you got to take care of your skin. And these guys are out there helping you take care of your skin. They're helping you with your wrinkles. They're keeping they're keeping you young. They're keeping you young. They keep you look good. Caldera Labs creates a high-performance men's skincare product by combining pharmaceutical-grade science along with nature's purest and most potent ingredients. Kicking off their stellar skincare selection, we have the Regimen Bundle, a twice-a-day routine to transform your skin. Inside this bundle, you'll find the Clean Slate, the Base Layer, and the Good. The Clean Slate is where you start your day. It's balancing cleanser that uses gentle plant-based cleansing, leaving all skin types exceptionally refreshed. The Base Layer is a nutrient-dense, fortifying moisture that hydrates your skin and absorbs fast, leaving with a matte finish so you can start your day confidently. And the Good is your go-to at night before bed, and it's clinically proven multifunctional serum that helps your skin look tighter and smoother, as well as helps reduce visibility of wrinkles and fine lines. How can you not beat that? As you age, you might notice more fine lines and wrinkles. It's a sign of aging, unfortunately. This is the opposite of what any guy wants, really what anyone wants. And the more you neglect your skin, the more visible this will become over time. It's time to control your skin and take these easy steps. Ready to take your skin to the next level with Caldera Lab? Look no further than the Icon. The Rejuvenating Eye Serum is here to help address the 3 most common skin concerns around the eye: fine lines, dark circles, and puffiness. The 3 worst things you can have. Committed to transparency, sustainability, and excellence, Caldera Lab is on the mission to better men's skincare around the world, priding itself on clean ingredients and doing right by its customers and planet we live in. Caldera Lab is certified B Corporation as well as a member of the 1% for the planet. Through uncompromised craftsmanship, exceptional ingredients, and rigorous transparency, Caldera Lab is here to upgrade your skin and confidence. So make sure to get 20% off today by using our code BROADWAY at calderalab.com. That's 20% off at calderalab.com by using the code BROADWAY. And we're also joined by our friends over at Kanzuri. Fellas, have you ever wished you were a little bit taller? Maybe you matched on Tinder and her profile said must be 6 feet tall. Maybe your date wears heels and you just can't because you're just not, or she just can't because you're just not tall enough. Well, Short Kings, today's sponsor, has you covered. Kanzuri makes shoes that make you up to 2.8 inches taller without anyone noticing. Look, girls get heels, makeup, and push-up bras. Why can't men get a boost in confidence as well? We're all the same height laying down, if you get what I mean. For a limited time offer, our listeners can get up to 15% off every order with your code BROADWAY at kanzuri.com. The site is already 30% off, so with our code, you save an extra 15% off. That's 45% off your entire order. You're basically getting these shoes for free. So make sure you go show the support to the show and go check out kanzuri.com. That's CONZURI.com and use the code BROADWAY. Listen, if you can get a little extra edge in the dating game, I'm out of it way now. I don't even want to think about getting into a dating game ever again. But listen, if you're in there, you're looking for make a good impression, or maybe you're taking a picture with some of your guys at home. Listen, all my friends at home are over 6 feet tall, so maybe the next group shot I have to get these shoes on to make sure that I can fit in a little bit. They don't have to adjust the lens at all. But make sure you go on there, check them out. Not only does Kanzuri shoes make you up to 2.8 inches taller, but they're also incredibly stylish and comfortable. These are not all-man shoes. They're not Velcro shoes. They're not ugly, ugly shoes. You'll get compliments in them. Even if they don't even make you taller, you get compliments no matter what. They have styles for every occasion: smart, casual, sporty, you name it, they got it. The height insoles are actually built into the shoe, so no one can tell that you're hiding some secret height boost in there. The brand is also hidden on the shoes and the packaging, so it's literally the ultimate height hack. Life short, you don't have to be. It's time to level up the playing field, my guys. Maybe update that dating profile to 6 feet. Kazuri is an absolute game changer for you in your dating life and your rig life in general. So make sure you go on the website, use our discount code Broadway, save that 15% off. You get that 45% off total. Like I said, it's basically free, so make sure you go check it out. Kazuri.com, Konzuri.com, and make sure you use that code Broadway today. All right, we're now joined by a returning guest, our buddy Jake Elmer, back on the show almost 2 years to the date.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be back on.
So yeah, I mean, 2 years. I think you were in Jacksonville or Hartford last. I think you were in Jacksonville last time we talked. I think you were going back and forth between Hartford, and you end up in Slovakia this year. So it's been some stuff's gone on in 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but I mean, so much has changed since the last time we chatted, and it's crazy how much change can happen in let alone 2 years, but 6 months or whatever it was. It was a quick decision, but yeah, just ended up overseas and had a blast over there playing.
So let's go back to where we left off. So you played one more year with the Rangers there. You're in Hartford and Jacksonville, and you had a good year in Jacksonville too. You had 18 goals. You're second on the team in scoring there. And Hartford there too. You had the limited time you had there. You played well. So I guess from that season, I got to ask you about Hartford. Like, is there any guys from that team to you that like maybe stood out to you that you're like, oh man, that guy's gonna be an NHL player for Ranger fans kind of look toward?
Yeah, I mean, the guys that I was with there, Braden Schneider was there for a little bit. Look at the career he's having so far. I mean, Johnny Brodzinski can go up and down and be a force in both lineups at any given day. There's a lot of guys that you can see that have so much ability, and it's just about getting opportunities. So those are the kind of the names that stick out probably the most. But you could probably go through that roster and pick a guy and be like, if this guy's ready, you probably could be, but it's just about opportunity, right? Everybody knows that it's just getting your chance and making the most out of it.
Yeah, we just had Alex Whalen on, and he was like, he knew from the day one when he saw Schneider walk in the door, and he's like, oh, that's a big kid, and he's like, still on the ice. He's like, yeah, this guy's not gonna be here very long.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who skates well, thinks the game well, and he's got a physical presence to his game and makes a smart play. And just came with they had to develop a little bit down in Hartford, and then he's where he belongs for sure.
No, Ranger fans love him. I mean, he hits like a truck. And
Yeah,
his rookie year, I mean, what was it? Maybe 10 games into his rookie, he like beats the crap out of the guy on the Devils, like just houses him. It's like, all right, yeah, this kid can stick around.
yeah, he's a strong boy. Good old Western Canadian guy. So, he's a beauty then.
Talk about the Western Canadian guys. You got your boy Bedard now, number 1 overall, soon coming up, going to looks like Chicago now. What a great spot for him to land in.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, I mean, WHL is all the rave now with all his highlights.
Yeah, I mean that kid's from what it looks like from what I've seen from World Juniors or whatever it may be, whatever highlights you see on Instagram, Twitter, whatnot. He seems to be the real deal here. I've never seen him play live or never got the opportunity to meet him or anything like that. But just from what I've seen on social media, he looks like a stud who could be a big point getter in the NHL one day. So yeah, I mean, the Western League's such a good league. It develops guys so quickly and really pushes them towards being ready for pro right away. So, that league, you can go through tons of NHL rosters and just look at guys who've all played in the Western League. So, yeah, I was fortunate enough to get some time in that league and really make the most out of it. But, looking back, it was some of the most fun I've ever had.
How tough, and all he hears with the travel, how tough that is in that league, and it's so spread out. Like, how much of a grind is that travel?
Yeah, it's pretty tough. I mean, Ontario and Quebec, like the travel in the Ontario leagues, like your furthest trips, like maybe 6 hours, like the Sioux, if somewhere, but 6 hours is pretty standard over in the Western League. It's being in Lethbridge, our closest team was Calgary in 2 hours and then 3 hours. And then everything else is like Brandon's 10 hours, Vancouver's 13 hours, 14 hours. So yeah, like being up in Prince George would be kind of a grind. You're in the middle of nowhere. Your closest team is like, I think it's like 4 hours is your closest team. So travel can be harsh, but I mean, that's what bonds you with your teammates, and, everybody's got to do it. So it just makes it, I guess, equal for everybody.
They at least have new buses up there for you guys. Like, is it the sleepers at least somewhat
Some
new-ish?
teams,
Oh,
some teams. I know for my career, we didn't have a bus or a sleeper bus in Lethbridge, so we would get pretty thick like blankets and wrap them around the headrests and kind of make like hammocks on the bus, so you could kind of sleep on them. So yeah, everybody had their own kind of way of dealing with the long bus trips, but that was just how some of the veteran guys did it.
oh, jeez, that's what you put. And the Rangers picked up Jake Leschyshyn this year, who I know you play with
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
And he seems
beauty.
like he could possibly be in the fold next year because they're gonna have some contracts on the books. So,
Yeah,
what's the inside dirt on him?
inside dirt. I don't know. I don't think there's any dirt other than what you see. He's pretty open with how he carries himself and the way he plays. Like, he's a hardworking guy who loves to get in the greasy areas and just like win stick battles and board battles. And that's what I really admired about him when I played with him, is just like his ability to find open ice out of being in hard areas of the game. Like, you have a puck battle in the corner, it goes D to D, and all of a sudden, like, you're looking somewhere and he's back door wide open, like just waiting for a puck. So, he thinks the game well. He works super hard. He's a good centerman. Well, I don't know if he's a centerman anymore, but he was when I played with him.
Yeah, he's been playing center this year. Yeah,
Yeah. So, I mean, that guy is an awesome character. I knew him a little bit when I was in Regina, my first year over there, first 2 years, I guess, and then in Lethbridge as well. So, I mean, nothing but good things to say about that guy. He's an awesome guy. Really enjoyed playing with him and getting to know him. He'll
yeah,
be he'll be a big impact in New York, I think, in the future.
yeah. He kind of got caught up in the number game with the salary cap this year. So he was in New
Yeah,
York, and then they picked him up. I mean, they got him on waivers from Vancouver for nothing. It was a great. I thought it was a good move, just kind of see what they got because
huge.
he was a good prospect, coming out, and he
Yeah,
played well in Vegas. So,
yeah.
hopefully he pans out. And I also saw, I don't even know if you remember this, but I just saw his name on the roster and I was looking it up. But Akira Schmidt apparently played one game there with you
Yeah,
and got
yeah,
lit up.
yeah. He was my roommate.
He was
I
your
lived with him.
roommate.
Yeah, I remember we were. Can't remember what it was, but he came over from Switzerland. We had two other goalies, some import numbers. Like, I think we had one more import than we were allowed to have. So it was kind of like he got in the game against Brandon, and they were good that year. And it was kind of his shot to be like, okay, I could either take the reins and be a guy who can be, your main goalie. And I think he got lit up for like 8 or something like that. And I mean, like, probably 7 of those were probably our fault. Actually, 100% were our fault. But there's so many factors to play into that. Like, it's his first game in North American ice. It's his first game in the Western League. Like, there was a lot of factors to it, and they just kind of didn't give him a shot. And then next thing you know, he's leading the charge with the Devils, just being a brick wall in there, which is, awesome for him. He's an awesome guy. He's a really good, cool dude, and I enjoyed spending time with him. So I'm happy for him that he's doing well.
Yeah, I'm just thrilled for him. Just thrilled that he just absolutely killed the Rangers and comes in and white knights himself for all of New Jersey. Unbelievable. I
Yeah,
mean, he was
yeah.
he was a brick wall. He was incredible.
Well, it's crazy, it's playoff hockey, and if you ride a hot goalie, sometimes you can go all the way, right? You never know. It's so up in the air with playoffs. It's I mean, it sucks for Rangers fans and it sucks for other fans for their teams getting kicked out, but it's cool. It's good hockey to see. It's good to see somebody doing well, and in that case, it's somebody that I got to live with for a little bit.
That's for you. Yes, that's very cool. That's a good story. Yeah.
Sorry, Rangers fans. Sorry about that one.
I gotta ask you about Chris Knobloch. So the Rangers move on from Gerard Gallant, and he is one of the candidates for the job, and he's done a great job. It seems like in Hartford, they're on a great run this year so far. I guess what playing for him, like what kind of style is he? Like, what do you think of him as a coach?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing but good things to say about him. I mean, I didn't spend a ton of time with Chris, but through mutual people that we both know, I've heard nothing but great things. I found him to be a very driven guy, very driven coach, and he expects a lot out of his players, and he gets a lot out of his players. So, um, like I said, I didn't spend too much time with him, just being up and down, and not getting a full feel for a full year with him, but every experience that I had was very good, and I thought he's done a really good job with Hartford, and I hope nothing but success. Hopefully, he moves up and coaches in the National League as a head coach guy, and I think he could be, a good fit for either the Rangers or another good organization within the NHL. So I think he's trending upwards, and I think it'll be a good move for him. Hopefully, if he ends up in the NHL, it'll be a good pickup.
Yeah, actually, both the teams from the Rangers that you're with, Jacksonville and Hartford, both going on runs right now. So,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I had Luco on the show back in December, and he was all fired. He's all, we're gonna go on a run, we're going to run. He's living up to it.
yeah. I mean, it's tough not to have a good time when you're living in Florida. I mean, Jacksonville's such a cool spot. I think they led the they led the entire East Coast in attendance this year. I mean, the atmosphere is great. The arena is great. It's 75 to 80 degrees every single day. You can go golfing. You can go to the beach. There's so many things to do down there. And then you get to play hockey in front of a good crowd. So, I mean, there's nothing more you could want out of playing in a spot. And, good for them that they're doing well. I still talk to some of the guys still on that team. So happy for them that they're doing well. And it's cool to see them having success.
And they got that whole new ice there too, so that's going to draw more people in there, which is great.
Yeah.
So you leave the Rangers. Was there any talk about coming back to the Rangers, or was there any negotiation there?
No, honestly, I'll just be upfront about it. There wasn't. My 3 years within the organization didn't live up to my expectations, and I don't think their expectations. So, we had discussions about, what I can do moving forward, and advice to try to build my game to the next level and get better. So, it was had really good conversations with the organization and with the guys that just really wanted the best for me. And obviously I didn't spend a lot of time up in Hartford, for good reason. I mean, I didn't I wasn't at the ability, or the level that they wanted for me, and unfortunately that's just the way pro hockey goes. So learn from my mistakes, learn from missed opportunities, and I'm just trying to build off of that from now, and try to prolong my career as long as I can when playing in Europe, and enjoying traveling and living different lifestyles and experiencing different parts of the world. So that's kind of where my mindset is at moving forward. Obviously it's a bummer, but that's the way it is.
Well, let's talk about this year because I mean, a little bit of a whirlwind for you. Start off in the coast in Greenville, South Carolina,
Mhm.
and then you end
Yeah.
up in Slovakia. So how did that all play out?
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of a weird summer for me last year. I had I was told, I'm getting this deal or this deal's on the line, and then it goes by a month and I don't hear anything, and I say, what's going on? And I'm waiting for deals, waiting for deals, waiting for deals, and I get down to like August, middle of August. I'm like, hey, I got to start signing a deal here right away. And Greenville showed some interest, and we negotiated a good deal, and I went there, and I thought I had a good showing. I played 6 games there and thought I did pretty well, but we just I just didn't get in the lineup as I had hoped, and play as much as I wanted to. And it finally got to a point for me where it didn't seem like it was beneficial for myself and also the team for me to just stick around and just be benched for some reason. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said previously, it's pro hockey, and there's expectations, and sometimes coaches have higher expectations of guys, and I guess I didn't meet those standards. So spoke with my agent Jim Shepard out of Calgary, and we decided that moving over to Europe would be the best opportunity for me, and we found the deal in Nitra in Slovakia there, and rolled with it and just kind of said screw it, let's go. I flew out on a Monday at 11 o'clock and played. I landed on a Tuesday at 11 o'clock in the morning and played that night. So it was kind of whirlwind, kind of what the hell's going on. But I'm glad I made the decision to go over there. It was a blast.
That's crazy. And I've had guys on the show that played in Slovakia, and they actually think it's great hockey. They like, no, it's
It's
great hockey.
unreal.
It's a good place to be, a good spot to land in.
Yeah, there's a ton of really good players. It's fast, really high skilled. Can't say enough about the fans there. It's unbelievable, like just how the atmospheres are over there. I mean, I don't know what North America's doing, but they need to get on the European train for fans and chants and stuff because it makes the game a whole lot more enjoyable to be at and play. And I think we could do way more, but that's beside the point. But yeah, no, it was. If anyone's looking over to go to Europe and Slovakia is on the table, it's a good spot to be for sure.
Yeah, now at their games they have like the standing room only, like the fans on the one side standing, or is it all seated? Because I've seen that too, where that's just the fan club's like standing with like shooting off flare guns inside.
Yeah, so I mean, our rink was old and small. I think it fit like 4,000. I mean, pretty averagely we'd get around 5, but
Four
it's the
thousand.
whole
If
layers.
it's 4,000, you get 5.
Yeah, we'd have people on one side, mostly like 90% of the rink would be sitting, and then in the one corner across from our bench on the left side, it was just mayhem. Drums, guys with their shirts off, chants, big flags waving, no flare guns, which isn't. I'm kind of glad that wasn't the case because it would have kind of been distracting. But I mean, you couldn't hear your teammate talking to you on the bench because it's so loud in the ranks and with the chanting and everything like that. Like it's such a cool atmosphere. It's like being at a soccer game. If you know what a soccer crowd looks like imagine that in a tiny old hockey rink.
The NHL needs it. I would love that. Any guy
Well,
I
you
have when I
watch
was
some of
in
these
Europe is
NHL
like,
games and they're dead.
I know. I know. I mean, and I think it's the Dell also in Germany has like the one side is like the beer garden, and then it's like just flat stands, and like people
Yeah,
just stand there, drink, and just go crazy at the soccer game the entire time.
yeah. Well,
And
in
I mean,
Slovakia, like the booze is cheap too. So like at our rinks, it's like you're getting $1.50 for a shot and $2 for a beer. So people just go all out for that's their thing, right? The whole city, the fans, that's their team. They're diehard. They live for the HK Nitra. So they really want the team to win. They're passionate, and I mean that's awesome. It's super cool.
that is awesome. That's really cool. Um, and I've had so many guys that have also gone to Europe and like that they found their love for hockey again too. And it's
Yeah,
like it's they're like, oh, I this is why I play hockey because like these people are
yeah.
crazy.
Well, I'll say that's probably me too. Like I obviously love the game of hockey, but I kind of it felt like work in North America. Like it really did. It felt like getting up for a job and going to the rink. I mean, you still have fun doing it, obviously. That's why we still do it. But you go over there and everything's fun. The games are fun, even if you're losing. It's pretty freaking cool being here and like it's your whole purpose of being over there is to play hockey and it's fun and I mean you get to enjoy it and I can't say enough good things about my experience there. It was amazing.
Now, when you score a goal, you going right to that crazy corner? Is that like the Selly corner?
If
You
I
guys,
can.
yeah, I say that's
Yeah,
kind of
if
yeah.
I can. Yeah, I scored a couple at home where I mean, it's crazy because the fans in that one corner are ballistic, but the whole rest of the rink is also going nuts too. So, I mean, you can really go anywhere near the glass, and people are going to be fired up. So,
It's gotta be a pretty good adrenaline rush going down that line.
oh, oh man, it was unreal.
And you had the goal of the month in January,
Yeah,
and I saw that it's up for the goal. You know, you can vote for it. I don't. I'll put the link out for everybody so they can find it if you can figure out what Slovakian internet is. But it's the Europe for goal of the year. So let's try to
yeah,
get that. Let's try to get that hardware.
yeah. I mean, if you're listening, and it's just download. It's called Tipo's Extra Liga. It's just if you type in Tipo's Extra Liga on the App Store, it'll be all in English for you, and you can hit the top part. It says like Kristolovsky puck or something like that. I don't know that part. That part is not in English, but yeah, you can watch the goals, vote for whoever you want. Hopefully me, but I mean, no pressure.
Just find
But
yeah,
it'd be cool. It'd be
just
really cool.
find Jake Elmer. It'll be on there.
Yeah,
And if you get a virus of some sort, find Jake on Twitter. Let him know.
yeah. Let me
He'll
know.
reimburse you for your laptop. Don't worry about
Yeah, it's okay. I'll buy your MacBook for you. Don't worry
it.
about it.
Exactly.
In
Um,
euros though, it's gonna be a Slovakian laptop, so it might be a little
exactly.
different. Might take a while.
I gotta ask about your teammate Adam Sakura, Rangers 2022 draft pick. Ranger fans are really high on this kid. Had a very good showing at the prospect camp and training camp this last year. So, get me more excited about him.
Yeah, Sicky's a beauty. The kid is the most fun-loving human I've ever met in my life. Like so much energy, so happy to be at the arena every single day. His whole life revolves around getting better every single day. He's if it's not him doing a crazy freaking warm up that I've never seen before practice on a Monday when we're all tired, he's buzzing. I mean, the guy works so hard. He works hard in the dirty areas of the game. He loves to get greasy and he loves scoring. Like that guy, I've never seen somebody celebrate like him. Like he falls every single time he celebrates because he's so juiced, he's so excited, and he just wants to win. So I mean, if he can translate his game over to the North American style, which I think he easily can, then he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. He's just going to be a huge energy guy for Madison Square Garden. So I hope nothing but the best for him, and I hope he does well in Hartford. I think he's still up there, and
Yeah.
I hope he does well this year, the rest of this year, and next year, and has an awesome long career in the NHL. He's a beauty. He was my line mate all year with another guy, Sahir Gill, a Canadian guy, and we just had tremendous chemistry, and it was just a lot of fun to play with those two guys.
Yeah, he got at the end of your year, he got brought over to Hartford, and I think he got into a couple games. But yeah, he seems like he's just a ball of energy. I think he compared himself to Brad Marchand, which, I mean, if you can
No.
kind of do anything what he can do, I guess that'd be great. But
I mean, hey, if he can do that and kind of be a Marchand type player, then that would be awesome for him. But I don't really, I don't know if his player comparable would be, but maybe like a Jeff Skinner for
okay,
Buffalo. Like I could kind of see that, like a
I've
smaller
seen
guy.
Carl Hagelin too from some
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
scouts.
that would be good too. Yeah, no, he's Sicky's an awesome dude and he's an awesome player. So I think he's gonna have tremendous success.
Now, is he throwing the body around too, or is he just more of just like a motor guy?
He's like I didn't see him throw any big open ice hits, but like he'll get in the forecheck and throw his frame around a little bit. So I think I honestly like whatever role you tell him to go and do, he'll go do it. So he'll be a successful player, I think, in the NHL. I really do.
So what's the deal over there? So are you dropping the gloves over there, or is that frowned upon? Is that allowed in that league? What's the I don't
So
know if
I,
this.
I I don't what I was told from other import guys that you can fight, but you get just kicked out of the game. So there's really no reason for dropping the Mets. But I think there's other leagues. Like I know the EI in England and the UK is they like their fights, and I think there's some other leagues too. But I think I think it's more of like a skill game over there that I've found is the teams are more about the finesse and the speed and the talent and the kind of the flashier plays. But I mean, we had a fight this year in warmups. We got somebody got jumped, and there's a big kind of bench brawl. But that's about the only stuff that I saw.
So you go from the coast where it's just the Wild West sometimes to a nice
Yeah,
little finesse game. That'd be a good break for you.
yeah, it was nice. I mean, playing in the coast is kind of the Wild West as well, but also playing in the South Division it's kind of even more Wild West. So yeah, it was a good change of pace and kind of suits my game a little bit better. But I mean, if I have to drop the mitts, somebody's talking smack or somebody deserves it, maybe I'll give it to them. But try to stay away from that part of the game.
Hey, listen, we've seen you drop the Mets a couple times. You know, it was a good one from Hartford. No, it was from Jacksonville last year when you knocked the wheels off someone. I remember posting the video about it. It says
Yeah,
our guy Elmer dropping the gloves decision.
yeah. I don't know. It was that fight was kind of weird because he kind of gave me a slash, and I looked at him. I said, "You want it?" And he started skating away, and I was like, "Oh, I guess not." And then all of a sudden, I like blank and turn around, and he's skating right at me with his gloves off, and I was like, "Oh, I guess we're going." So it doesn't happen too often, and I mean, I've gotten my bell rung. Maybe my fight in junior against this kid named Jackson Vandelis was not my best performance. So I mean, if you're gonna find it on YouTube, then be prepared for kind of a shellacking on my end. But
But
yeah, if I have
don't
to,
put
I
that one in the
will.
highlight reel. Not in the
Yeah,
highlight
no,
reel for you.
yeah, maybe try to delete that one or
We'll
something.
delete that. I'll yeah, inappropriate content on YouTube. I'll
Yeah,
put on there for you.
copyright strike it or something. I don't know.
Try to get off there forever. Yeah, I mean yeah, talk about the Southern Division. I mean, every time you watch a highlight from like a Jacksonville game, there's someone getting pummeled. It's what's the guy's name on the team? How? The
Oh
guy's oh
man,
man, he's just an animal.
He's probably the toughest guy I've ever played with, played against, or seen. Like he just doesn't
Scene.
care. Like it's crazy. It's awesome too because he'll like me saying this too because like when he sees red, he'll kill anybody in sight. If you're sitting in the penalty box beside him, he's still going. He'll feed you, and you're on his team. So I mean, that guy, one of the nicest humans I've ever played with, one of the toughest guys, plays his role to a T. And I think he played like 15, 20 games in the American League this year. So like
Yeah.
good on him. He went from the Fed League to the American League. So I mean, that guy, there's just nothing but good things to say about Howie. I love that guy.
Just the wires crossed a couple times and it's just
Yeah, I mean,
lights
you don't
out.
want to be on the other side of his anger. It's like a bull seeing red. It's pretty well game over for you. I don't think I've ever seen him lose a fight
That's crazy.
ever.
And there's some goons down there that he's going
Oh yeah,
after.
yeah. He's. I mean, he's fighting heavyweights, and he is a heavyweight.
I think the best was I don't know if you were there for when it happened, but it was last year when he was like sitting on the blue line on the red line in warm-ups, and he's
I
just
was
like,
in Hartford when that
okay,
happened, but there was backstory between that because the kid is named Nico Blockman, and he'll fight anybody. He doesn't give a crap who you are, and it was a morning game at like 11 a.m. in South Carolina, and he's yelling at us in the hallway about how he hasn't had breakfast yet, and the big dog's got to eat, and he's yelling at how we all warm ups, and how we and him went, and how we pummeled him, like Bambi legged this guy, fed his lunch to him, big fight. And then the next time they played, the whole red line thing happened where Howie's like, this is my rink. This is my home. You're not coming over that line. So yeah, as you can see, you can probably find it on the Instagram if you haven't seen it. But yeah,
yeah, that
that's
one
a
pretty
good one to
viral.
watch.
That one viral. Chicklets picked that up. Everyone picked it up. Like
Yeah.
the jungle. I think they went to the jungle's back, whatever it was. When
The jungle.
yeah, the two of them
That
were
league is the jungle, but it's a fun league to be in.
just jabbing each other with sticks. The
Spearing each
games.
other in the chest. Like, how does that even make sense?
I just
Oh
love that it
man.
was 11 a.m. camp game, kids game, and the two of them were screaming at each other.
Running up and down our dressing room screaming, big dog's gotta eat. I'm like, dude, I just woke up. I just need a coffee.
You're in a SpongeBob SquarePants jersey at 11 a.m. getting
Yeah,
on the
like
ice.
what? Oh man, so
What's
funny.
what's your have you had a favorite or least favorite theme jersey there in the coast?
My least favorite was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one that we wore in when I was in Maine, my first year pro, and like whoever designed those, no offense to you, but those were god awful. Like the colors just did not work. My favorite ones in Jacksonville, it's not really like coast related. Like they didn't really designate because I know the league designates a lot of different jerseys, but they had my first year there, the Lizard King jerseys. They were
Mm-hmm.
white jerseys and they were purple and gold and green. They were electric. So those are my favorite for sure.
Yeah, throwback Jackson back to the Ron the Duguay days. That's when he was player coach in the 90s.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
you
they
go.
were so vintage. They were so sick.
Luco hates him, by the way. He said on the show, he's like, I absolutely hate the theme jerseys.
What?
He's like,
Oh,
yeah,
I
the
mean, I don't
theme.
like
No,
the
no,
theme
yeah, yeah.
jerseys
He's
as
like, I
well.
hate doing the theme jerseys. He's like, I think
I
it's a
hate
dumb
it.
because they made him do like the Dumb and Dumber jerseys this year. That of
Yeah.
course went
Oh, those were
viral.
horrible.
They went viral now. It's like all these, like it's
Well,
for attention, right?
we had the Thanos ones with the warrior gloves with the gems on the Infinity Stones. Those were pretty sick,
Wait,
actually.
you had
Those
the
were nice to
gloves,
use.
like the actual gloves were with it.
Yeah, so we were given warrior gloves. Warrior gave us a bunch of golden gloves, and on the what is it? What does he snap with his left or right? What in the
Yeah, like
movie?
the
Whatever
knuckle.
it
Yeah, yeah,
was.
yeah.
Yeah. So those gloves had the Infinity Stones on them, painted on. So
That's pretty
those
cool.
were sick, and
That's pretty
they
cool.
auctioned those off too, so they were wicked.
That's pretty
But
cool, actually.
some of those jerseys, those special jerseys are no offense to the league. If the commissioner is listening to this, which I don't think he is, I think they're terrible. But hey, you got to make your money somehow, and that's how you do it, I guess.
I know the fans like the raffle at the end of it, but yeah,
Yeah, they do. The fans like to buy the jerseys.
I think it was when I had Brandon Master on. He's like, it's 11 a.m. You're SpongeBob playing against Patrick. He's like, there's just not a lot of motivation when you get out on the ice.
No, there really isn't. You're dressed up as Batman and they're wearing like a Loki jersey. You're like, this is just like it's not even in the same comic universe. What are we doing here? But no, I mean it's good for fans. It's good for kids. I think it's pretty common understanding throughout the players in the league that they're not our favorite, but we'll wear them. We'll do it. We'll grind it out.
I gotta ask you about. I don't think I asked you this last time. Number 59. What's the significance behind that?
I don't think there is one. I mean, I was given that jersey number when I came to Hartford after junior. Yeah, I was just sitting in my stall. 59 was the number that was there, and I was looking around. I'm like, oh, Jake Gensel's got it. Is it Tyler Bertuzzi wears 59? I'm like, I think it kind of looks pretty clean. It's a pretty cool number, so might as well stick with it. And so that's what I did. I tried to get it in Greenville, but Luke Santurno was wearing it, so didn't get it there. But I was only there for a couple weeks, anyways. A quick cup of coffee, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, 59 is a cool number. I mean, if anyone has any other recommendations they'd rather see me wearing, then shoot me a text or a DM. But as of now, I like 59.
It's easy to pick you out, right? It's easy. You see, there you go. There you go. It's 59.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that someone else had it on a team.
Yeah. My mom told me that it was tough to pick me out between 39 and 59, but that's kind of the only thing that I could see. But no, it's a pretty standout number. So I like it.
I mean, you wear a 1 or a 2 or a single digit. Every other guy on the team has that. So, I mean,
yeah,
I think you see a 5 that stands out to me personally.
Yeah. Yeah. Not many people wear numbers that are in the 50s. I mean, 55's cool. 59's cool. Yeah, I don't know. It was given to me and it kind of stuck. So I like it.
All right. Yeah. I just saw, I mean, it's a number where like, I mean, I feel like someone would pick that, like you saw 59. So I had to ask you where that came from.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
And some guy's like, oh, it's my training. Like, I remember Keandre Miller. I mean, he got 79 with the Rangers and like rookie camp. And he's like, no, this is the number you gave me. I'm good with it.
Yeah. Some guys aren't picky with it. Like I wore 20 in Lethbridge. Like growing up, I was number 14 my whole life. Because I was 4 when I was like really like when I was age 4 to like age 7, I wore number 4. And then my dad told me that I was a defensive number. So I went to 14 and then 14 for years. And then I can't remember when it switched. I think it was when I went to Regina in camp and I got given I think it was 37, which was a horrible number.
That's a camp number, yeah.
Yeah, that was a camp number that stuck. So I was a permanent 37 guy. And then in Kootenay, I wore 27. And then Lethbridge, I think I was given 20. I didn't really have a choice. So 20 is cool. And then 59. And I think I wore 63 in New York's training camp. And then, yeah, it just stuck, I guess. I don't know. I'm not too picky with numbers.
That's not a bad training camp number either, though. That's not
63. No, it's
not
bad at all.
That's not bad. Yeah.
There's some guys that get some pretty dust numbers, like getting like a 40, 43 or something like that. Like tough bounce. You're going home really quick when you see a number like that sitting in your stall. So
Dan Girardi does a funny story. He was given number 46 when he first got to the Rangers. He was an undrafted free agent. And he's like, yeah, when I saw that, I knew I was going to Hartford. Yeah. He's like,
really, yeah.
And he's like, I quickly switched to 5 the next season to make it seem like I was going to stick around.
It's true though. It's actually a real thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of those guys in that training camp when you were in with the Rangers. I mean, Adam Fox, guy's gone on to win the Norris, and he's going to be in a top 3 now this year too. So, I mean, he's been incredible.
Yeah, he's pretty good, eh? He's not bad.
He's all right. He's okay.
Yeah, Foxy's a beauty. I mean, I spent some time with him when I was training and skating with him in the summer when I was staying up in New York for my first year. And then, getting to know him because he was good friends with my buddy Patrick Newell, who was also part of the organization for a bit. And, us 3 got along pretty well. When we were in Traverse City, we went to a virtual reality bar, and not a bar, but I forget what they call it, gaming lounge or something like that. So we were just like sitting in VR doing like boxing and like playing VR on a day off one day. So yeah, I mean, that's the extent of that. I know Adam, and from what it's been, he's an awesome dude and incredible hockey player. So there's a lot of guys with that in that organization that when I was there and camps and traveling or whatever, there's a lot of just awesome people that I got to meet, which was really cool.
Anyone from that camp? I mean, I know Fox is obviously taken off, but anyone from that camp while you were there, like that, like you were like awestruck by, like, did you have like an NHL, like welcome NHL moment there?
Shesterkin obviously was a guy that I was like, and especially like I'm thinking more of like a rookie camp Traverse City kind of
Hmm.
thing. Like those guys was like, wow, this guy's going to be an all-star in the NHL. Like it was so evident to see like in practice and in just like even scrimmages, like skating with him in the summer, just like doing goalie skates. It's like this guy's on a different level. So I mean, Kravtsov is so skilled. I was like, holy crap! Like I've got a long way to go. If I think my hands are good, this guy's on a different planet. So um, yeah, I mean, there's tons of guys that are not coming to my head right now, but there's tons of guys that are like, holy smokes, these guys are good hockey players.
That was the thing that frustrated me, Kratzoff, and I hope he does well in Vancouver. But he just showed flashes of like brilliance, and then would just like disappear. And I know like people say oh scouts he was not big enough for the NHL, he's gonna get bigger. I know that's what Talk had said too. Like he's gotta get bigger for the NHL, but I mean that kid, his skill set is insane.
Yeah, his ceiling's really high. Like he's got so much upside. Like you see some of the goals he scored, like some of the goals he scored in the KHL were just banana lands. So eh, it's so hard to explain to like somebody who's maybe never played it or never played at a really high level. Like to be consistent every single day, day in, day out, shift in, shift out, it's so challenging. And that's why there's millions of people that play hockey, and there's only a select 0.1% that ever make pro hockey, let alone the NHL. So, I mean, guys just develop in different ways, in slower ways, maybe quicker, faster, slower, whatever it is. And I think maybe he's just developed into his NHL game a little bit slower than maybe the scouts would have hoped. But I think he's gonna, if he can figure it out, he'll have a long career in the NHL as well.
Any good stories this year, like off the rink? Any crazy you get to Slovakia, any like cultural things that
Uh, a little bit. I don't know if I can share most of them just because they're kind of maybe inside stories with the boys, but yeah, I mean, Nitra was really really cool because it was you're close to Budapest, you're close to Prague, Bratislava, Vienna. We went to Vienna a couple times. I mean, talk about just complete polar opposite of Canada for culture wise and architecture and stuff like that. So um, I kind of guess I'll throw one guy under the bus. I'll tell one story, but when it was, I think it was like my first 2 weeks getting there. I think we had a week off, and so me, a guy named Cody Donahue, Reed Duke, Matt O'Connor, McCoy Urkamps, and maybe I can't remember who else was there, but we all bombed up after a game. We bombed up to Vienna, and we're like, okay, we're gonna have a couple nights out. Stayed at an Airbnb, we split it, and it was a good time. But it comes time to leave and Reed Duke is sitting there going, "Oh, I don't remember where I parked the car." And we're in a city of 2 million people that we've never been to before in our life. And so we are cruising up and down these blocks where we think we parked for about an hour and a half looking for it and nowhere to be found. And so I find the impound lot and I call them. They don't speak any English. And so I'm trying to be like, hey, is there a old school, because that was the car he was given, an old school Mercedes. It was like neon, or not neon blue. It was like baby blue. And we're saying like baby blue Mercedes. And they're like, so we're like Slovak license plate. And they're like, well, what's the license plate number? We have no idea what the license plate number is. We have nothing. And so yeah, it was just kind of a grind, and we finally found it. They called us back a few minutes later, like, we have it. So, I mean, that's kind of the only crazy story that I was like, you probably maybe should have taken a picture of where you parked beforehand. But uh, I'll throw him under the bus because I love Duker, so he can eat that one, I guess.
so what was your setup over there? They give you a car, like they give you your own car when you get over there, your own place.
Yeah, they give imports. They give you guys housing, and then depending on where you live at, our team was lucky enough that we had a bunch of extra sponsorship cars, so we were given some vehicles for getting back to the rink, back and forth, and maybe bombing somewhere else. But I mean, everything over there is pretty well walking distance or a scooter or whatever. So there's ways of getting around. But yeah, we were given cars, apartments, and then yeah, it was pretty cool.
Was just Netflix, and I guess now you can pretty much stream everything, right? So it's probably so much different now.
Yeah, so I'm a big gamer, so I spent a lot of time sitting on my computer playing video games after practice, which is not very good, but I enjoyed it. Probably could have been doing stuff a little bit more productive. My girlfriend would definitely tell me that's the case, but I enjoyed playing some video games after practice.
Get the indoor simulator, get the golf game going.
Oh my God, that would be electric. I had my clubs over there because when I was in South Carolina, I had to fly with them because I couldn't go home. So I
It's like,
brought my clubs to Slovakia. There's no golf courses anywhere around me. I'm like, this is brutal.
guys walk in your apartment like, what the hell are those? Like,
Yeah,
what do you?
they're like, well, golf? What is that? I've never heard of it. Golf's not very big over there. It's kind of crazy.
Or there, I say, are there any golf courses at all over there?
I think there's a couple. I think there was my general manager told me there was two in Nitra, but I don't think they ever opened up enough for me to get out there and play. I mean, I if it was open, I for sure would have been going.
Playing the snow in Slovakia.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? There wasn't a lot of snow when I was there. I was
Oh, that's good.
surprised.
That's
It was
good.
kind of doomy and gloomy some of the days, but a lot of rain, not a lot of snow. So that was cool.
That's not bad. Like, compared to the Hartford winters, that's not too
Oh,
bad.
compared to the Calgary winters.
That's true. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So what's the handicap at now?
Last time I checked, it was a 4.6.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
I shot my career best this year when I was down in South Carolina, and then just recently I've been trying to get out. Well, I'm working at a golf course just for the perk of playing free golf at the course where whenever I can get out. So I mean I work from 6 a.m. till 2, and I get to go play golf if I want after. So not a bad little gig.
That's not bad at all. That's
No,
not no
just raking
little
raking
twilight then.
bunkers and yeah, raking bunkers, mowing greens, and putting pins in, and then going and playing later that night. So it's not bad at all.
Catching a tan and then going to play, huh?
My farmer's tan is through the roof right now. I look like I can't even describe it. It's so bad.
So what's the game plan for next year? Do we know where we're going yet?
As of right now, no. We're still looking around. It'd be nice. I'm gonna be over in Europe,
Yep.
so I mean wherever that may be, you'll probably see on my Instagram story or my Twitter post eventually once I sign. So I mean, we've got some options, and we're just trying to pick the best place for me to be and progress there. Obviously, spend some time, maybe 1 or 2 more years in maybe a lower seeded league, and then hopefully get up to the big boy leagues like the SHL or the Swiss leagues or the Dell or something like that. That's the goal. So just move up from there and try to have another productive season.
So yeah, so I guess is that how it kind of rolls? Or you kind of like work your way up, kind of a deal? Is that kind of how it?
Yeah. I mean, if you're doing well in, let's say, Slovakia, and you enjoy it and you start getting paid pretty decent money, or the Czech league or whatever, you can make some good coin. And then obviously if there's room and a team sees you and wants to sign you, and the SHL, the Dell, Swiss league, Austrian league, they pay pretty well. And they're probably, I mean, I think the SHL in Sweden is probably the second best league in the entire world. So guys over there who played lots of NHL games go over there and make some good coin.
Yeah, end up now you brought up England before, and they are all about
Yeah.
fights. So
Oh yeah.
if you end up somehow in England, you gotta bring actually don't
I
bring
know.
goals. Don't bring
If
goals.
I sign over in the EI in the UK league, I'm gonna be taking mixed martial arts for 2 months before I go even there. So
They have Twitter pages just for their fights. Like it's
oh
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fans eat it up. It's amazing.
We have my buddy Devin Didiamidi, who's actually playing over in Romania now. He played there, and they love him because he's just a fighter. Like he just killed guys, and he's a legend in the league because he
Yeah.
just fought every game.
Yeah.
So,
They
I
love
mean,
it.
it's great. Hey, go to the KHL, get some Russian gas. There's a lot of options here.
I mean, yeah. There's that's what's so cool about playing over there that people maybe don't realize. Like there's tons of leagues for guys to go and play. Like my friend who was playing at RPI college, and he was like, "Well, I don't know if I'm going to kind of go anywhere after this," and signed a deal in Sweden in a lower league and put up a crap ton of numbers, and then he moved up from there. And so like, there's tons of places for guys to go play, and I mean, why wouldn't if you can go travel Europe on somebody else's dime pretty well, then why wouldn't you go do it?
I know. We've had guys on that played in Italy where it's not like a top league, but you're living in Italy for free.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
traveling up and down Italy, the best food in the world.
Yeah.
Like, and my other buddy is playing in France, and he loves it. Kelsey Tessier, the maritime guy, he absolutely
Yeah.
loves it. He's like, and he's killing it. And he was a guy, same like you, again,
Yeah.
undrafted free agent that kind of worked his way through the Rangers organization and went overseas. So there's so many leagues,
Yeah.
like you said, there's so many leagues that you can go play in and play good hockey.
There's tons, and the fans are always passionate. People love the imports that come over, and I mean, I don't know many guys that have had bad experiences going over there. So, I mean, obviously, if you go to a tough spot or maybe you don't enjoy some of the aspects of it, but I mean, most guys are enjoying their time there. And the cool thing is, like, you get national team breaks where you can go travel for. I mean, I know in Bratislava to fly from Bratislava to Dublin and Florence were €15 flights. Like you're paying $20 Canadian to go fly. Like it's unbelievable.
That's ridiculous.
Crazy.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Can't even
So
fly to
there's a lot of
Florida.
opportunities.
Can't fly from Florida to New York for under $500 now.
No, no, it's insane.
And you in Calgary, can't go
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah. We're screwed. Calgary's deadlocked for prices. I know Calgary to like Vancouver is like $400 or something like that.
That's
It's an hour
insane.
flight.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
It's nuts.
well, enjoy the rest of the summer and get the golf game up. I expect to hear that you're a scratch too by the end of the summer. Now that you're at the golf course every night,
Yeah.
and hey, maybe that's the next calling. Canadian
Maybe.
PGA.
Oh my God. I hadn't even thought of that. Just play pro golf in the summers and pro hockey in the winters, dual sport athlete.
That'd be huge. I think what's his name? Brodor's kid does that. He quit hockey and is playing golf now.
Not a bad sport to be playing professional at.
No, that's pretty good. It's pretty
That's
good.
unreal.
Getting paid to play golf. Not bad.
Sign me up.
All right, buddy. Yeah, so let us know when you sign somewhere. We'll get out there and make sure you go vote for Jake and get him his what was it called? What's the puck called? Crystal puck?
The crystal puck.
The crystal puck. Make him ship that to Canada. Make him really pay for the overage shipping charges on that from Slovakia.
Get their UPS charges up. Let's go.
You'll get it. It's like a pin.
Yeah. Just a little flag. Congrats.
This is a piece of paper. This is congrats.
Good job.
Good job. Good job. Come back if you want.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Thanks for coming on again.
Cool. Thanks, Kyle. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Thank you so much, Jake, for joining us. It was great getting him back on. Just got back over from Slovakia, so it was great to have him on the show and catch up with him. Always root for him. He had a beautiful goal this year. Make sure you go. We talked about go vote for his goal of the year. Give him his silver or crystal puck, whatever it is. Be great for him to get that. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll keep you in the loop of where he goes next year. Obviously, we'll follow along, but I told Jake to let me know where he goes so we can put out there for all of our listeners who do follow along with these guys. And, we'll make sure that everyone knows where he's playing next year. Somewhere over in Europe, but we'll see. Hopefully he lands at a great spot. He had a good year this year, and he'll be working his way up the European ranks soon, which is awesome to see. He's a young guy still, so he's got a lot more hockey left in him. And who knows? Maybe he'll switch over to golf. I mean, fantastic golfer. Maybe he'll turn this into a Canadian PGA Tour career too. It'd be pretty sweet. But thanks so much for him for joining us. And that does it for episode 132 of the Broadway Hat Podcast. Please make sure you go and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts. Make sure you leave us a 5-star review there. Every 5-star review we do receive $1 is donated to Alex's Lemonade Foundation. So please go on there, leave a review. It takes 10 seconds out of your day. Helps an amazing cause that helps fight pediatric cancer. Please go and subscribe to the show on Spotify. Leave us a 5-star review there as well. You can find the show on Google Play, Pandora, Amazon Music. Anywhere you get your podcast, you can find us there. Make sure you go and subscribe. Follow the show on all social media as well, on Twitter at Broadway Hat Pod. You can follow my personal Twitter account at KHallNY for all New York Ranger updates, articles. Obviously, check out my latest articles on BellyUpSports.com. I think I've had 3 that came out this last week. Make sure you subscribe to the show on our YouTube channel as well. We have brand new stuff on our YouTube channel, clips, show episodes, clips, YouTube exclusive stuff. So make sure you go check us out there and subscribe to the show there. And also make sure you follow the show on Instagram and Facebook at the Broadway Hat Podcast. And thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next week.